Well guys, I apologize. Off camera, I went and got the front airbags all the way completed. Just kidding. Hey guys, welcome back to Gears and Arms, and you're watching the Hawk Project. And in today's episode, we're going to get the springs taken out of this thing. We're going to see how low we can get this Crown Vic chassis to the ground. So that way we got a point of reference as to where we can set the cab. Because I want this thing land rocker. I'm tired of the truck just sitting 2-3 inches off the ground. So we're going to get this thing where I want it to sit. So let's head to the shop and get this thing started. Well, as you guys saw in the last episode, we got the rockers and everything completely cut off this thing. And my extremely temporary steering mount. So what we're going to be working on today is getting these front springs out, which you just got the 3 bolts up top, and then one going through the control arm right there. We'll get those off and see how low we can get the cross member and chassis to the ground. I believe it should get like within an inch. So we'll see, and then after we get these out, we'll move to the back. Let's get to it. Things are hot. Ouch. All right, that's it for the top. It's already somewhat loose. Gotta move on to the bottom. But I did notice, yeah, if you look right back here, I thought this thing had a little bit of an exhaust leak. And it turns out I'm right. These Fords, these mod motors are known, they're notorious for having exhaust leaks, and it's because of the studs they used in the manifolds, and they break off. So like this one, you can see it's completely missing. I don't know if you can see this stud here. Well, there should be one here. It's completely gone. So that's why it's got an exhaust leak. All right, let's move on to the bottom. This thing's fighting the whole way. All right, now see if we can get the bolt out of there, and then see if we can get this spring out without having to take anything else further apart. But I don't think that's gonna be the case, unfortunately. We'll see. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think that's the original bolt. Where is that? There you are. It's a bolt I pulled out. This car's a 2011. Typically every fastener is metric on something this new. That's a grade 5 bolt. I don't I don't think that's original. leave a comment below if you think that's original. All right, let me try and wrestle this thing out of here. All right, well, I got the spring out. Goodness gracious. Somebody that probably has done this before is probably gonna look at me like an idiot, but I started with taking the lower ball joint loose. That didn't work because of the way that these are in here. So then I had to take the upper ball joint loose, which was a nightmare in and of itself. Finally got them loose and then had to get the thing pried out of there. And then I just got it back together. So now it's on the other side. I won't bore you with that. When I'm back, it'll be out and we'll be ready to set this thing down. All right, it's much later, but I think this thing's ready to come down and see where it sits. Hopefully I can get it down without having to do a couple stages on the jack, but let's find out. Pause for a second, we're hitting the computer. Oh, just barely. So it looks like our control arms hit here on the spring perch. And let me get my light. So yeah, we've got interference. You can see right there and right there with the upper. Oh, and then our tie rods are, looks like the tie rods are hating life. Yep. So, yeah, tie rods are actually hitting pretty hard. So I definitely don't want to leave it like that right now. But then our cross member is sitting about maybe an inch off the ground, if that. Next, we get the back of this thing down. Not tonight. All right, let's get this thing jacked up and see what's holding these things in. And I was told by the previous owner that this car actually has, I guess, F-150 coil springs in the back. It was to give the car a little bit of lift because they had bigger rims on it. So let's see what's holding these things in, get these pulled out and see this thing set down. All right, that's it out. Move the other side. Who's doing burnouts on this tire? think I'm gonna run out of jack. Ooh, maybe? Oh, look at that, perfect. So, frame in the back is maybe, oh, I don't know, 5 inches with the bump stops still in. See, the bump stops are right. Oh, I get my light to work with me. Let's see. Bump stops are right there. A little piece of rubber. It's, oh, this right here. We still got a couple inches, maybe an inch. Oh, come on, focus. Inch and a half or so to the top of the frame. All right, so the front is dropped down. I just pull the bolts out of the bottom. It's sitting pretty much as low as it will go. The back is still jacked up because I pulled the bump stops loose. So let's see where this thing sits in the back with the factory bump stops pulled out. So that's down in the back. We were like, yeah, we come down like another inch and a half or so. So we are 3.5 in the back, and oh, like 2 in the front. And now the axle is sitting on the bump stop mount, or the frame is sitting on the bump stop mount. So that's as low as the back goes without doing any cutting. All right, so we're moving back to the front of the Crown Vic chassis. Tonight I got the old springs pulled all apart because, like I said, I'm gonna try and use these bottom sections, and then I'll basically go bottom section. I ordered plates also. I ordered back plates. So bottom part, airbag will go there, and then probably a small piece of tube up top, and then our original top plate. That's my plan, at least at this point. So got those all taken apart. I didn't video it because it was rather sketchy, and I didn't know how it was gonna turn out. And also I really didn't want to show people how to do it the wrong way. It was definitely a don't try this at home moment. So we're back on the front of this thing, and I got to give a big shout out to Sean over at S3 Customs. He's got a 68 F100 on a Crown Vic chassis, and his lathes rocker, and so I've been talking with him a lot, bouncing ideas off of him and getting information from him. So big shout out to Sean at S3 Customs. So Sean was telling me, or helping me with a couple of the issues I'm running into. My front tie rods are kind of binding against the lower control arm, and so he was saying that he just notches. Let me get my light. Or not really notches, but so I can get it in here so you can see. All right, you can see where it's hitting right here. We just kind of clearance this area a little bit. There's this kind of comes down, so we'll clearance all that, because his actually lays cross member on 20s, and I'm about an inch off the ground. So I think with clearancing that, and then the other issue I have, which I pointed out earlier, is up top. I am hitting right here, and I'm hitting on the back side here. So I'm gonna try and create myself a little bit of clearance here to get this front end to drop down the rest of the way. So let's pull this tire off, get this thing jacked up, and do that. All right, let's see how we clear. And we're clearing there. And we're just barely clearing there. So I'm gonna throw the tire back on it and see how it, set it down and see how this side sits. I will have to clearance though around that tie rod. I think I might just be, oh yeah, we're touching right there. All right, so I made some progress off camera. It was just a bunch of grinding and noise making, so I didn't video it. I finished clearance and everything here on the driver's side. Got, oh, focus. Got all up in here, clearanced and smoothed out real nice for the tie rod. It does still slightly contact when it's all the way down, but you're not going to be steering when the cross member is sitting on the ground, so I'm not too concerned about it, because as soon as you raise it up at all, you have plenty of clearance. So got this all clearanced, and then got the upper clearance on this side. It was basically just smoothing out the like the ribs that were on the spring pocket, and then just a little bit of clearancing right here on the inside of the control arm on both sides. I mean, I took off not even 1/8 of an inch, nothing that's gonna compromise the structural integrity. And then same got it clearanced up in here for the tie rod. Pardon the noise. Well, here's the frame laying all the way out. And as you can see, with the modifications we did, our cross member is laying on the ground. Now, with that said, I did run into one problem. I'm gonna have to run a little bit shorter of a tire, because you look up here at the upper ball joint, it's maxed out, and it's actually starting to pop the ball joint out of the control arm, just because we're over, the angle on it is too much. So if I run a shorter tire, that's going to essentially bring the upper control arm down and bring that ball joint back into a usable range. Well guys, I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode of the Hawk Project. We got this thing nice and low, and I think next time we're going to get these guys mounted up. We'll get the brackets made for these. I am still waiting for my bag plates to come in. They're taking forever to get here. So once those get here, then I can start on the brackets for the front. I still haven't really looked at the back yet to figure out what I'm going to do. The other issue with the back is the bags I'm going to use are actually the bags that are on the back of the 66. So I'm not sure how I'm going to go around that yet. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for this episode. Guys, I appreciate you watching. And if you haven't yet, I would really appreciate it if you guys would subscribe. It would really help out the channel. I'm trying to get this channel to grow. More subscribers we have, the bigger and better things that I can do on this thing. So if you don't mind hitting that like button, drop a comment below if you guys have any questions, or if you just want to, I'd like to know what you guys think. So thank you guys for watching. Tune in next time.